Hi guys, it's Mary here. This is the third time I've tried to shoot this video, and I will try and get through this. And so I'll just start with why the title is Love Thy Neighbor. It turns out my neighbor, we'll just call him the Meatball, wasn't even home a minute from his cottage, and he started in on me. So I went outside to my area where I had just planted the Virginia creeper early in the morning, and I was on my knees, and I noticed pizza slices on my property line. He feeds animals, and he caught a baby skunk in his garage. I think he tosses his leftovers on my side of the property line to have these wild animals come into my garage. He's left bedpans. He thinks it's funny. Coffee pots. He once left a white trash orange velvet chair on my driveway and the cushion on my roof. He's lobbed over prime rib bone one New Year's, and one time he's lobbed over like 3 bags of spice, which if the dogs ingested that, it would have been catastrophic. So he's just so mean-spirited. And that morning he came out of his kitchen, and I looked at him and I said, Meatball. I didn't say meatball, but I said, why do you have to keep throwing food on my property? He told me immediately, he exploded, shut the, you piece of, I'm sick of hearing about your property line. I like to feed the animals. I'm like, are you kidding me? One time you had food out here that was poisoned, and you didn't tell me. And my property line extends. Mine was the original house. It extends over my fence, so my dogs walk around. My dogs, if I call them, come immediately to my side. So they can walk around off leash. So that was just ridiculous to tell me that he litters because he's feeding the animals. Well, I finished gardening, which I have to do because half his lawn is creeping Charlie, and it's creeping into my lawn. So I finished gardening because at that moment I decided I'm not tiptoeing around this meatball anymore. I took a shower and I went to the police, who ignored me initially because that family was responsible for a good half of the 5 domestic calls the police got 2 weeks ago. Not one charge was pressed. So they're thinking I'm just part of the problem probably. Well, I assured them that I will press charges, and as a matter of fact, my brother's a police officer, and I know darn well how dangerous these domestics are for you to go on, and I will press charges. My brother would not allow me to drop charges. So things changed rapidly, and they told me to plaster my property lines with no trespassing signs, and I thought, well, isn't that kind of harassing him? If I do that, and they're like, who cares? So, and they hinted about a few things with this man, and in fact, I've been told that they were given like a $100 fine for littering, and then that night his son was directly across the street from me. He dates the girl across the street from me, drinking beer out of the cab of his car with a guy who does a lot of crack. And luckily, my neighbors know about this. So one neighbor, he stayed in his truck, his vehicle, for the entire time they were out there. And then the next day, the police come into my backyard where I'm at, and I was wondering, I was told he was given a litter citation yesterday, and they're like, no, we just caught up with him. So they must have given the wife the citation. And they said, we want you to know that he fully understands that if he even looks at you funny, he's going to jail. And you don't have no trespassing signs. In fact, they could blow away, so we want you to nail them to the trees. I'm like, the front trees in my house aren't mine. They're the village's. And they're like, we don't care. You're sure this is your property line? And I said, yes. And they're like, if you could, we'd like proof if he crosses this line, surveillance. So I talked to another neighbor who's a hunter who is furious with the situation just because, you know, Meatball has managed to anger anyone in his vicinity. As you can imagine, it's just not me. So he told me about hunting cameras and volunteered more information, and he's looking out for me as well. So I went out and purchased two of them. These are probably taking photos right now. They're over $100. You can get more expensive ones, but this is powered on batteries, or I can plug it in. It has a 32-bit SD card. It can take video or stills, and I have it set to 15-second intervals. Like if it's triggered, it will start taking pictures. And I already have one of Meatball right on the property line. And the police come by. In fact, they've come by when the second night when the police did catch up with Meatball. They were all congregating on my neighbor's, on Meatball's front porch, blaring music, and he's been on his front porch every day since. Mind you, he hasn't been on his front porch the entire summer. So, you know, there's kind of like a harassment there. So my brother, who's a police officer, is like, yeah, get those cameras. I'm going to meet with the police. So that's good, too, to go over what we can do. I mentioned earlier that he has managed to upset quite a few neighbors. Another one's told me that sometimes a very important mail of mine is on the bottom underneath all the mailboxes, and she said that he throws mail out. So I told the postmaster it was a recorded message, and I have to thank the postmaster because he sent a letter out to everyone saying tampering of the mail is a federal offense, like $1,000 or $10,000 fine, 3 years in federal prison. So I don't know. The police warned me that this will escalate. So we'll just see what happens. However, to cheer myself up, I went shopping for myself and, of course, for viewers. I have to blame Meredith for the Rose D'Oro. I always wanted to try the Melania products, but I was just a little leery because I had that one little problem with the dollar store lipstick. This I love. I'm wearing it right now, mixed in with the number 5 Luminoso, which I've heard from Pink So Foxy had said that it looks really nice. I'm glad I have both. Really good colors. I think probably universally flattering. It looks better on me because I'm using Tabitha. That's Game Face Gorgeous' daughter. I just pat it on and swirl it as opposed to the streaks that I used to do. And then what else I was able to find were all these pencils for 49 cents. These are Wet n Wild Color Icon pencils. And I have a lot of mechanical pencils from like Bobbi Brown, which I like, mahogany, or I think it's, I don't know what, Tainted or Molt or something from MAC, and I have a YSL. I have the Rimmel, I have the Physicians, but this is the, if you can see that, this is the Color Icon in, I don't know what number. One of you will get it though. But I just like it. It really makes the green in my eyes pop. And I only use neutral colors. I'm not big into anything that's not a conservative makeup look. So I'm loving these. I got a few purples and then just this one blue. Just for the heck of it. I also purchased quite a few Rimmel quads. I had a coupon for offering me $1 off. And I think either I paid full price for this one. I purchased 2 of these earlier at Jewel. Maybe I got them for 99 cents. And I already cracked open one to play around with it. And then I have about 4 different Wet n Wild lipsticks. 49 cents. And then finally, what did I get? Okay, I blame Ms. Gold Girl for these 2 Jordanas. They're wonderful. This is going to replace my Wet n Wild Holy Grail. This is almond. It's so buttery. and easy to work with. And this is the Tenacious Brown. These were like under $3. This is Tenacious Brown. And then, what else? I have something out, Rimmel. This is nothing special. Stay Glossy, probably in a fuchsia. I got this for $1.49 because I had a $1 off coupon. And that's about it of what I've purchased lately. I thank you for watching.